Well, drinking whiskey, stout, you know, Guinness, looking at the view. We're on a campaign with the Australian Wine and Branding Corporation, working with John McDonald, who heads up AWBC here in Ireland, and working with him to expand the knowledge of the locals, if you like, to help them understand the wines of the Clare Valley in South Australia. So the association between your Clare and our Clare is something we wanted to expand upon. And you know, John often finds himself working just in the environs of the capital cities, the big towns, and we thought this time we'd take it to the country. It goes way, way back to Edward Burton Gleeson, who left Ireland in 1838 and travelled via India, in fact, and won a massive Calcutta, a huge amount of money, but I've never seen exactly how much. It was just been reported as a huge amount of money. Came to South Australia and then set off to explore the mid-north of South Australia, and came across the beautiful rolling hills of our Clare Valley and decided to call it Clareville, Clare Village, right at the beginning. He called it Inchiquin, which is of course a name that reminded him of home. And eventually Clareville or Clare Village became shortened to Clare. He then laid out the map of the town, you know, the town plan, and later on he apparently became a magistrate, and he ruled the town, you know, apparently with a bit of an iron fist. Yeah. Yeah, well, the district really is, it's named the Clare Valley. It's a pretty poor name though. You know, look, it's not really a distinct valley. It's a series of 4 ridges and associated gullies that come with that. If you look at it topographically, then the highest points are around Seven Hill Penwortham, and you know, those high hills and the rolling slopes. The elevation is about 450 to 550 metres at the highest points, and that gives us wonderful elevated cool sites for growing whites facing east. So morning sun only. Afternoon sun we like to reserve for the red varieties, because of course they don't mind it so much as the whites. And we can pick and choose between soil types, elevation, rainfall, that gives us a huge variety of sites that we can plant, and makes our district extremely diverse. You know, we have the ability to grow everything from delicate Riesling through to full-bodied Shiraz, which very, very rare in Australia, you know, very rare on a world scene. You know, you don't see delicate Riesling and full-body Shiraz coming out of Mosel or the Rhine. You don't see good Riesling coming out of the Rhone. You know, there are white varieties grown there, but you know, they're very full-bodied and texturally rich wines. We can grow both in Clare. It's very diverse. I started in the industry in 1975 after being packed off to boarding school in 1973, and towards the end of my boarding school time I wrote lots of letters to the wine industry, and I'd been inspired to do so because I'd grown up in the Clare Valley. I'd been 5 years in Clare from 67 to 72. My dad was the manager of the National Australia Bank there. There's no family history of wine. In fact, my grandmother, who passed away very recently at 103, claims to have never consumed wine in her life, and you know, vehemently sort of objected to any family involvement in alcohol. You know, so she was pretty staunch, but we carried on nevertheless. Dad always encouraged me to be involved in you know, the local industry, to embrace that and understand it. And I remember doing school projects, you know, in my primary school and early high school about the wine industry. So I was always interested in it a bit, but when I got to the end of matric, I wrote, you know, without any thoughts about what anything else I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to live in the country, and that's really all I knew. So I wrote to Mick Knapstein, who was a great mate of my dad's, and I asked him if there was any chance of a job, and Mick, I think just providing a job for the son of one of his friends, said, yes, come on and come to the winery and we'll see how you get on. Well, 12 years later I was still there, and I am Mr. Mick's last apprentice, and he paid for me to do a science degree in wine science at Charles Sturt University in Wagga in New South Wales. So I travelled there many times over a 5-year period, finished the degree. Then Pam and I started what we're doing now in 1986. We bought 10 tonnes of grapes and a few plastic fermenters and 12 second-hand barrels, and went and bought 10 tonnes of Shiraz from the Aberfeldy vineyard, and started doing the little job that we're doing now. So, you know, it's grown from there to 1,000 odd tonnes. We now have 15 staff, and we have 350 acres of vineyard, and we export to all corners of the world, really. All over Europe, to Russia, to China, a little bit to Japan, but very hard to get in there. Lots to the UK and Ireland, of course, through Tesco, principally, and, you know, sales all over Australia, as well as at the winery. So, yeah, if anyone's interested in coming to our Clare, you know, we'd welcome you with open arms, of course. Yeah.